check, mic check, mic check, check, check. Mic check, mic check, mic check, check, mic check, mic check, mic check, check, check. How we doing today, guys? How we doing? How we doing? All right, let me check, make sure I'm active where I need to be active at. We getting active? Just a second. And okay, there we go. If he looks kind of janky. Kind of janky feed. Feed looking kind of janky over here on YouTube. Hopefully, looks like we get a much better feed on Riverside. We'll just see how that goes. Hold on, where am I at? Oh shoot, let me pull this up. Getting a good feed on LinkedIn though. Let's try it again because apparently I didn't get the link to save for some reason. Copy. Successfully copied to clipboard. Copy again. Okay, now we're looking good on YouTube. That's what's up. 1 second. I'm sending out a little message here, a little message there. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Alright, so let's go back real quick. So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. Got a lot. Um, so let me send out my little. See, let me do that. Let's do that. There we go. There we go. Now it makes more sense. Make it make sense. So we're at the beginning stages of a dawn of a new era. So to speak. Uh, I will say right now things are not. Well, as you can tell, things are a little bit different right now. Um, Working from home today, this week, um, due to the weather, and unfortunately, I don't have any of. Ooh, lost my tablet for a second. We're gonna set that face down. Um, I don't have any of my equipment that I would normally use for this show. So yeah, no cameras. Although I am getting a really nice picture off the webcam. So shout outs to Lenovo for that. Shout outs to Lenovo for that. Yeah, I'm getting a nice picture off the webcam. Can't even be mad about that. All things considered. Um, um, what else we got going on here? Let's see here. Okay, let me see something. No, that's not what I needed. All right, so we're gonna take that off. Okay. So because we're just, fidgeting with stuff, trying to see what works and everything like that. Like I said, getting a good enough picture, I would say. Um, how's my audio sound? That's the one thing I don't have a Control 4. Um, also, because I'm working from home, there will be extra noises, guys. It is what it is. If I had a meme, I would have them guys chime in. It is what it is. But that being said, welcome to the first episode, well, episode 3, but the first episode of our new 2-hour format. This is 2-hour format. Thank you. There we go. Darn peanut gallery. So yeah, we've expanded to 2 hours. Um, and the reason I intend to do it for today, um, I intended to do it for next week. I was going to announce it today. Um, 'Cause I thought it'd be a little bit easier. Um, but the yeah, as we approach the start of the episode for today at 1 o'clock, it just felt too chaotic, rush into it felt too chaotic. I just decided to go ahead and um, go ahead and just start it today because I thought it just would work out a little bit better. And well, I know it's gonna work out better, but what are we doing here? Yeah, that's not okay. Oh, yeah. All right. So, and you're still, fighting with some things, figuring some things out. But I did figure that it would work a little bit better if we go ahead and set everything up to go today. Um, and I could have just said it. I could have just moved the time to 6 o'clock and set it for an hour. But um, what's the fun in that? Might as well try it out and see how. So first things first, let's do a little housekeeping. Patreon. Y'all see the little strip at the bottom. Patreon, DKG72. Head on over to Patreon. That's a good way to help support the channel. If you want to, you can always send those Cash App donations, DKG72. And obviously, we have plenty of merch. We've got prints, t-shirts. We're doing custom t-shirts. Actually, I'm planning out. Got a whole plan for some really cool t-shirt designs that we're going to do and have up. We're going to do those. They're going to be limited editions. So I'm only going to print up so many of them, and those are going to be baby. So that's going to be a little bit different of a situation. So that being stated, definitely you can support at www.foresightstudio.com. If none of those work, obviously just go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share, um, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let them know what we're doing. What are we doing in this live stream? Well, we talk about different subjects related to digital art, being an artist in general. Talk about just some art stuff. We talk about projects that I'm working on. We talk about my um, journey using artificial intelligence, how I'm using it, the tool that I'm using, that how I use the tool to enhance and create different things. Also, we still talk about things like storytelling, um, give tips on art, um, a whole plethora of things in relation to the arts and digital artists. And hopefully, you guys can join along the way, give some opinions. I'm pretty sure people have opinions. And cheers. What's up? How's it going? So I'm sure people have opinions on things, and that's fine. And we want to have a good conversation for the next couple of hours. Um, so again, make sure you guys are liking and sharing and just letting us all know. Carolina, how's it doing? How's it going? How you feeling? Happy New Year. Finally got the setup, kind of doing the setup thing. Also, big shout outs to Riverside. That's the software I've been using for these past live streams. And yeah, yeah, Riverside is really in the and if you are a creator, I would definitely suggest using them because it just works out. What up, Chuck? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. At the home studio today. Um, Happy to see you too, Carolina. Happy to see you too. We got a lot to talk about. Well, not a lot. Well, it is a lot. Like I said, switched over to a 2 hour format. The show has moved to 5 p.m. So we're going 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and we have it expanded to 2 hours. Um, the at home stream, obviously, there's some differences because I have none of my equipment, which is going to be interesting. Hey, hit me up in the chat, guys. Let me know how the audio sounds just coming through on because I'm just using the microphone that's attached to my laptop. So the other goal for this year is that we are going to maintain every Wednesday. Now that we've moved to this time slot, which I think is a better time slot overall, 5 p.m., 7 p.m., 2 hours. We're gonna kick it. We're gonna draw. We're gonna create stuff, um, give tutorials, talk about some things. I think it's gonna be fun. So um, that being said, let's pull up. Hold on. Let me get some things to get something get something cracking real quick here. Hold on. Let me get some information cracking. Let's get the info. We're gonna do our thing. We're gonna get some news and info cracking real quick. Hold on just a second. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's get some information up because I want to talk about something that I saw. Um, the yep, saw this headline, and I thought that was kind of interesting headline, um, and something I definitely think we should, as as, as a group, talk about. Oh, what the heck? Come back over here. I don't know what you're doing. Um, so we're gonna pull that up. Do, 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 do. increases. Man, you know how you know you're old when you got to increase the size of the fonts so you can read stuff. Um, and we gotta talk about talk about this headline. Um, hey, thanks, Caroline. I appreciate you. All right, so I think we've got all the house cleaning out the way. We've talked about liking, sharing, and all that stuff. If you got somebody, some new people, let people know. Um, Trying to grow this. I think this is a better time slot for us. Every Wednesday moving forward, every Wednesday, 5 p.m., 5 p.m. We're going to be doing the thing. And we're not missing unless I'm on my bed, I'm on my back, just sit. So um, we're going to make sure that every Wednesday moving forward for the rest of 2026, rain, sleet, snow, shine, it don't matter. I'm in the building. So definitely working on that. Um, so we're gonna take a quick 30-second pause so that we can start this next segment. And again, I appreciate everybody that's check, and I'm looking forward to speaking to some more of you guys. Speaking to you guys moving forward. Cool. All right, so let us do this. All right, so let's go ahead and share the screen. All right, so our first subject of the day. First subject of the day. First of all, that's just a dope picture. Um, Guys, I ran across this article I think it was last week, the week before last. I think I reposted it on my Facebook. Um, and it was extremely busy lately. They just been some busy little beavers, haven't they? They just have been all over the place doing stuff. So, looks like what's this? This is on January 26th. When did the deal close? So let's see. Netflix has they've worked out a partnership with Studio Mappa. Obviously, I watched the first season of Chainsaw Man. I absolutely loved it. It was stunning. It was visceral. So I really found this to be an interesting situation. So, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but apparently the movie is doing great. So let's look at this article. So it says the stunning box office success of Chainsaw Man, the movie Reza Arc, the anime feature about a man who coexists with demonic spirit of a chainsaw, caught the attention of the whole industry last fall, including Netflix. So the film earned $43 million in North America and 160 million worldwide, further cementing even the most offbeat anime as a major mainstream commercial genre. Now listen, Chainsaw Man. literally this guy turns into a monster, a chainsaw to chainsaw his enemies. Again, in the same. And he also has like chainsaw arms. It's crazy. Um, and lo and behold, last week Netflix quietly revealed a new strategic alliance with Mappa, the studio-based anime, the Tokyo-based studio-based. Talking about, forgive me. The Tokyo-based anime studio behind the feature, as well as many of a fans' other favorite titles. On Tuesday, Netflix Kata Sakamoto, head of content for the stream, and shared a few on the shape of the partnership. A few comments on the shape the partnership will take during a content presentation in Tokyo. So, with Japan's leading leaders, we are evolving these partnerships into deeper, more collaborative creative ventures, Sakamoto said. Our recent announced partnership with Mappa reflects this direction. Multiple projects are already underway, spanning story development through merchandise, as we work together to create worlds that fans can engage with beyond the screen. So Netflix has framed the partnership as a natural next step for anime on the platform. Um, One of the things did, guys, that I saw, they pivoted to anime very early. In fact, obviously there was Crunchyroll, but then I noticed that Netflix was building up like just this anime army of shows, and they were competing. They were trying to compete with Crunchyroll, um, and that pivot to animation and their reliance on animation for content, I think really is one of the things that is has given them their power base, which they've used to base within. Obviously, um, you know, has helped them with their $83 billion cash bid for Warner Brothers, which is still just an insane amount of money. Um, and they're working on that. So, but one of the things is that they really did heavily index into animated content, into anime in particular, um, as part of their pathway to success. And so one of those things that they really worked on, um, that that uh, that I think really worked in their favor and helped them out along the way. Let's see here. Hold on a second. I have to check the status of something real quick. Okay, it should be on this way. Cool. So, so basically, another one of the things is that the fans didn't really react to this, which is funny. Um, the fans seemed to think that this was the end of the world, not knowing that the anime industry in Japan has kind of plateaued over in natively, but is doing gangbusters over here. So I'm not exactly sure why people thought that this was just why this was going to be such a bad thing. So, Mappa president and CEO Manabu Atsuka. I hope I said his name. I hope I did not butcher his name. Atsuka speaking when the partnership was first unveiled on January 21st, emphasized the importance of independence and end-to-end control for Japanese animation houses as they court global audiences. A message that seemed crafted to reassure fans, like I said, because the fans were going nuts, Once again, everything's the end of the world. Even if you don't understand the nature of the plan or the nature of the deal. Uh, a message that seemed crafted to reassure fans that the company will retain its independent creative spirit under the Netflix alliance. Um, Sources close to the deal also tell a Hollywood reporter that Mappa's pact with Netflix will work outside the production committee system that usually governs Japan's anime industry, whereby multiple companies, studios, publishers, TV stations, advertisers, and toy makers typically pool funds to produce a series or film to diffuse risk. In theory, the new deal will give Mappa greater creative control over the destinies of its titles, but also a greater voice for Netflix. So there's some Game of Thronesy type stuff going on with this deal. Um, so over there in Japan, the studios and the manga publishers, the toy makers, they pool money, um, so that nobody's taking a heavier risk than the others. And that being said, studios still fail, no matter what. Um, but this is allowing Mappa um, to now work outside of that, and that may be an issue moving forward. But it seems to be giving them a certain level of independence that they are seeking. Let's see here. So, um, we have worked with Netflix on various projects in the past, but this expanded partnership is based on Mappa's core belief in being an independent studio, both creatively and in business. So Mappa is this is one of those things where they're looking for a way to just kind of be their own deal and not be reliant on those pooled funds. So, um, so let's see here. Osaka's, sorry, Japanese animation studios must proactively lead every stage, from understanding global audience needs, and developing projects to reaching viewers and expanding related businesses. Mappa is committed to deepening our collaboration with Netflix, aiming for a long-term win-win partnership. Um, and those past collaborations with Mappa have included bringing distinctive Mappa productions such as Rama One Half and Kakagururi Twin to Netflix global audience. With multiple new anime efforts already in planning and production, the partners suggest the goal is not only to scale original Japanese anime worldwide, but also to push into new creative territories as the medium's reach continues and seemingly this is a deal that definitely is going to affect. This is definitely a deal that's going to affect the world of anime, and it looks as if the studio is attempting to get its independence a little bit, um, and they're trying to become a little bit more independent as that goes. Um, so the thing about it is that this is going to help with their IP development approach. Right, it's going to gives them sort of a give them a stable partnership, um, and obviously global distribution. Obviously, Mappa not putting into the studio fund maybe it's going to become an issue, a challenge. Some of that platform exclusivity could reduce discovery. So this and big deals like this do make it harder for smaller creators to get noticed. And there's always going to be some questions about long-term creative control. We all know Netflix, while it offers a good deal, um, they do like to cut people when they're not. They do like to cut people when things aren't going, when they're not getting the numbers that they would like to get. So we definitely are going to have to keep an eye on that and 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 see how that works. I'm hoping all the best for Mappa with really dope concepts. Um, you know, my ultimate um, my ultimate read on this is I think that when you're a studio that um, is in Mappa's position, um, it's going to be a good, it's going to be a win-win for you for now. I think the deal has to be carefully curated so that it's not so that it doesn't become one of those things where I think Mappa starts to feel like Netflix is taking more, you know, their Netflix has more influence than they would want. They're trying to walk this line in which the studio itself can do its own thing, but also has a corporate partner that it does have to work with and corporate partner requirements that have to be satisfied. I think for the studio the size of Mappa, I think there are just things that those are just some of the things that they have to deal with, obviously, and it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I personally think that for Mappa it's a good deal for now, but I would also I'm keeping a cautious eye on this one, right? Keeping a cautious um just a cautious thought process on this because again, Netflix has their own demands and has their own needs. So, um, just something that we need to keep an eye on moving forward. So, what do you guys think? What does it sound like to you? Hit me in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. Um, Again, we're just and again, and again, also just as a reminder, I'm streaming from the house, and my family doesn't care if I'm streaming. Nobody cares, so it is what it is. Oh boy. Um, so you tell me if you were on the if you own the business. Now this is a good question. I just thought about this one. If you were if you own your own studio, would you sign an exclusive deal with a platform for more global reach? Um, so is that something that you would do? So hit me in the chat. Let me know if that's something that you would do if you were the one in charge. If you were the one making the big money deals. Here. We're definitely but definitely keep an eye on that. Um, moving forward. So let's get on to the next post or next thing. Yeah. All right. talk about. Let's get uh, let's get set up for this next segment. Mhm. Let's pull up. So yeah, hit me in the chat, guys. Let me know what you're thinking. How you liking the new time slot? Next week we'll be back in the soundproof studio, away from all distractions. They just like the title said, it's a snow day. So you know, streaming from the house. Yeah. Streaming from the house. So hold on just a second. Let me pull it up. Oh, I'm in the wrong folder. All right. There we go. Let's pull that up. Bring that over here. All right. All right. Let's get into our next segment. All right. Man.
You know what? I don't think
All right. All right. So yesterday, guys, created the post for LinkedIn, and basically, I was talking about the process that I use to not only to create Kiki and the Unicorn, the trailer, but also the process that I'm using just moving forward in when I'm creating these animations, including what we're doing minute for the 1 minute movies. Um, and I was just kind of telling the story or going over the story of how we got to this point. And one of the things that I did is used a custom gem created for Google Gemini, basically to help transform the written content into a comic format. And what it ended up becoming was 12 comics that based on my personal perspective. And what I wanted to do today is kind of just go over that process. Um, so first and foremost, let's explain what is a gem, because I think that's the one thing we gotta get out of the way first. So a gem is like having a personal assistant that you've trained to help you with specific tasks, but it lives inside Google's Gemini AI. Think of it like this: regular Gemini, you just ask it the question, right? Smart assistant. It can help you with anything. A gem is the same assistant, but you've given them a specialized job description. You train them on your preferences, and they remember how you like things done. Um, let's give a real world example. Instead of telling Gemini every single time, I need you to take this story idea and format it as a 6 panel comic with dialogue, keeping the tone lighthearted and kid friendly. You actually create a gem, and you would call it comic book format or something like that. And you give it those instructions. And from then on, you say, here's my story. And it already knows how to help you. So, why does this matter? Well, it's going to save you time, obviously. It's consistent. It's consistent. So you're going to have way more consistency. It's specialized. So it's focused on this singular job, this singular deal. and it's collaborative. It feels more like working with a team member who gets your workflows. So in this case, the gym that was created, well, yeah, I didn't create it, and I didn't. It was created and then shared to me by my frequent collaborator DJ Hijack. And but the basic of the gym is that you give it the the premise of your comic strip. You can provide it a script. Then you pretty much describe the scene as you want it. You tell it how many panels that you want it to be, and you can once you tell it how many panels, you also can tell it the aspect ratio, and you can tell it kind of how you want the colors to be. Because some people want dull or muted colors because they're trying to be moody. You know, I like brighter, fun colors and things. So um, those are the things that I switched it up to be. And with that, man, thanks, Carolina. Thank you, man. Nice. Yeah, this is a yeah. So, in that gym, you then can basically have it produce these just any number of comic strips. One of the great things about it is that this is a reference to image model. So what does that mean? Well, all right. The gem can be a text to video, the text to image model, right? Which means you type in whatever information, all the information, and then Google decides what your characters looks like, and all of that. But if you're an artist, you can draw, then you probably already have characters that you've created. And in this case, I had a DKG72 character that I've already designed. You see it right here on the bar, and then you see. So we take that into the gym, and I use a nano banana. So we upload the look, also the logo for the studio, Foresight Studio, on the wall, and all the information is loaded in. For this particular series, I then generated a number of strips, right? The 12 strips. Now here's the fun part. This is the final version that you guys are seeing, right? But even in those even in that, there was still some edits that had to be done. And this is where, when people say, there was still some work that had to be done. So let me show you what the original comic strips were looking like. Oops. All right. There we go. All right. So this is what the original comic strips were looking like. So if you or are the Mr. Unicorn, because it didn't have the input. Um, so what I did, right, is that let's see what we Photoshop, and let's just open up one of these. Stop sharing for a second. It's funny. Yeah, so we share. So, and let's see, which one I do a lot of work on. Okay. Oh yeah, this one. So one of the things that, if you notice, so all I have to do, let me hit this. It use a gem, right? But I'm looking at it, can't use this stuff. That nothing about that is my character other than obviously the information I provided for the D. Well, it's simple. We want to mask in what needs to be masked in. In this case, we just took um, the original start frames and we just masked them in where they were needed. And so let's just create a quick example. Hold on just a second. This should be fun. Do, 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 do. So let's see here. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Folder wrong there. Went to the wrong folder. All right. So let's just show the process. JPEGs. We'll just use any. Let's just use any. This will work. We'll open that up. All right. So we'll take this. This is raw anyway, and it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we're going to take this start frame, and what we're going to do, we're going to put it right here, right? We're going to position that over our image, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down using a trans feature so that it works. Now, once you've got that done, you're going to go over here to edit, and we use the perspective warp. We run the grid over the image, right? And we're going to tap on warp right here. You see how I tapped on, and then obviously you see it now. It goes from the grid to this kind of this I don't know, what do you call it? Just moldable form. And then we're going to just mold it to the perspective of the screen. Oops. We just mold that down. And the cool thing about the perspective warp is that you can literally just nail the perspective on your boom, boom. So you pretty much nail it as need be. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right. So once you do that, hit that, and you're gonna apply the perspective warp. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, Dave, that's cool, but now his hand is covered up. How did you get it to look like that with the hand poking out? And then, that's simple. It's a mask. So you just mask it out. So we just put the mask, click here for the mask, right? And when you're masking out, white is addition, black is subtraction. So we're going to set it to black. Where's my, man, I can't even find that when I need it. Hold on just a second. Now, because I'm old and blind, I have to zoom in a little bit just to make this work. And then, now that I've zoomed in, I'm going to go ahead and use my brush, set to black, to basically mask out, hit the mask out, or mask out his hand, Mini Dave's hand. Make sure I've got everything. Then I'm gonna switch back over to white, and I like to bring that down a little bit, so then I can add back ends around the area that I masked off. See, so and then you just build, you just build out.
I just saw one in CJ's area. I
So,
just saw one in CJ's area.
and then you bring back what you need to bring back in order to get create the illusion, right? Whoops, too many things here. So there we go. So just to get the image back to where I needed it to be, and then you just would mask around, and then you just kind of adjust, right? Very simple process. Now I know you can probably run a mask in Studio, but I like the masking in Photos a lot better. I understand it. It works better for me. So there you have it. So just like that, um, you know, you have your your masked out. And even though this isn't perfect, this if you zoom out, there we go. It's very hard to tell the difference. So again, all I did was just perspective warp, right? And then mask out what I needed to mask out. And obviously, that was a lot more. This was a quick example, so this is tiny mistakes, but this is basically what I did all day yesterday, or all yesterday evening. Just was masking out different screens and replacing the image that was generated with the proper image. So, um, no big deal there. We'll just delete that. Yeah, don't apply. There we go. So, and that's how we ended up creating and that's how we ended up creating those strips, right? And from there, what was really cool about that is that um, when it came to like the dialogue parts, basically all I would do was in the gym. Um, I would just take basically what I had written as my as part of my oops, let me get hold on, I'm on the wrong thing. So basically what I would do is that I would take what I had written, and then I would just figure out which panel that it would go to. um, and worked it out from there. So that way, and then for the last panels, I literally had to tell it, hey, these into turn these into word bubbles. So let's go to those last panels real quick, because it was easy to just do captions, explaining everything. It's kind of like I was narrating my story, and then the last two panels, um, I actually told it, hey, make these word bubbles. And interestingly enough, um, for the very last one, I just took this in the Nano Banana Pro and just told it change the dialogue in the word bubble, and it did it. And then obviously, Kiki, and the unicorn. So that's basically how I did it. And that's basically I'm telling you that that's something that you can do yourself to, to create your own comics, right? And you would be creating your own comics. Your let's see here. Hold on. Yeah, so you're creating your own comics. You're using your characters. It's a reference to image type scenario. So um, those things are all those things all work in tandem towards each other. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to check something here. All right, 601. Okay. What you think, guys? How'd you like it? If you've seen it, I also posted it as a carousel on Instagram, and then I also posted it as a slideshow on TikTok and LinkedIn. Um, it's a fun intro project. Um, I think I'm looking forward to working on more projects like that in the in the future. In fact, we're going to be talking about another one of our projects in just a few minutes, um, which is the 1 minute movies project because I just character design. We're going to work on a promo piece for the 1 minute movie for the rest of the session. So, let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and get my set up for that. But yeah, tell me what you think, guys. Tell me how you like the process. Tell me if you intend to create your own gems moving forward. Because again, I think it just gives you another pathway. Yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit me up in the chat. Once again, let me see where this is at. Okay, cool. All right. All right, fams. Um, Today or yesterday, actually, while I was doing that, because that was the other thing that you can do. You can multitask. I was writing scripts. I was generating comic strips, posting on LinkedIn, and I also was doing character designs for the first um, of our 1 minute movies. And let me bring these two out real quick. So this is a concept. Um, we had Shorty Ace and Adam, and these were the character designs that I did. I actually need to here. Let me do this while I'm working on that part right now. Let me do this. Export time lapse. 16 by 9. Let's do 9 by 16. There we go. I think that works better. Because that could be a YouTube short. Alright, let's hit OK. Then do a screen real quick. Exporting time lapse. So yeah, guys. So yesterday I started work on Shorty Ace and Adam, and it was just an idea I had, and that's one of the things with the 1 minute movies. These are just kind of ideas fly-by-night ideas that I may explore later on down the line, or I may not. I'm not really sure just yet. But the object, as always, is to with the 1 minute movies create the 1 minute animated shorts. Utilizes AI to do that. So, um, and short is an app. I already have a script written. Now, the funny thing about Adam is I did actually read him on the hero on the presentation piece, because originally I was going to have him wearing an kind of like a shiesty mask and everything like that. Reconsider that idea of work on. It's better now. Oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, it was a lot of. So, so with this piece right here, I was actually working on it. Started it yesterday, which was the just the pencils and the ink, and I did the color and everything today. Now, background to speed up the process. The background started out as a. Hold on, let me see where it's at. It started out as a sketch. So, and then what I did is I took the sketch over into Nano Banana Pro, and I told it to basically finish it out, and that's what it came up with, which is based off of everything that I told you. So, um, and again, that's just another thing we can kind of combine and and collaborate that way. So now what I'm going to do to finish this out is I've got to get the lighting and the shadows on here. So we're going to go through that process real quick. So what I want to do is I want to take that out. I want to take that out. Oh, and yeah. So, and this another thing. Sometimes I'll still add a. Yeah, it's not New York, Carolina. It's not no city for real. It was just a city, so it could be. To be honest with you, it could be any. It could be. It was meant to be any city, USA. All right, so we're gonna focus on Shorty first. First thing we're gonna do. Let's drop out our flats real quick. Go on, and I gotta yeah. All right, so we're gonna make sure we got everything there. So now we're gonna go. So now that we've selected everything, right? And one of the things that I can do. Hold on, let me deselect real quick. This is why I advocate working in layers with everything that we do, because I could actually, if I wanted to, move these guys up, but I'm cool with where they're at right now. So let me go back. Oh, cool, where everybody's at. All right, so we're going to invert the selection. Obviously, and now I'm going to put just a right white, and we're going to cover this all in white. Oh no, no. Almost already inverted the layer. All right, yeah. So, and the reason why we're doing this, we're on her shadows, which is going to come in this next layer, which we're going to set to multiply, and we're going to a purple. And now let's get that background back up for a second, because it's going to provide the template. for that. So you got the lighting, so she's kind of backlit a little bit. So I can just a second. So let's zoom in because once again I'm blind. Um, and then I'm going to use this. Let's bring that. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to add in the shadows. Make sure all the shadows are in right where we want them to be. Let's see here. So, all right. All right, guys. Let me take 1 second. Give me 1 second. If they answer. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. All right. So let's go ahead. So now, just looking at the character, just looking at the lighting because it's also dark. Um, I'm gonna go with so, and we just add in some of the shadows areas. Oh man.
See, that's the thing. All you can't even tell what house is that.
Okay, so, and this is basically the process that I use.
He's coming. He said if we get around 11 or so. So that'll give us enough, Cause I didn't want to say tell him no, cause I want him. No, I was still, it would just be like 132. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. And so what we do, shadow areas in there.
Let me just get him here. Why you couldn't get it out there?
I don't know where they left that. They said they delivered to, he said, all they see is brown. So they're gonna refund me my money. But I don't reorder me something.
So we get these shadows in, guys. For this too. So, let's see here. Let's see here. Bring that up a little bit. See, that's what I like to do. To cover more space, I'll just increase the size of the nib. Because, again, that's the reason why you and then I even use some of the coloring, kind of add a little extra texture to the shadows, to the shadow realm. And shout outs to Starfish Face. If you go to her YouTube channel, this got this modified it a little bit for my purposes. But definitely this is where I picked this up. It's kind of a quick coloring format that really works. It's actually a little bit more drawn out of a process, but I wanted to show you guys this part of the process, just so you can kind of see. And this is basically how we color everything up. Now, let me scroll back a little bit. And let's go ahead and get those shadows a little bit better on the shoes. Alright, so let's see, once we've got that, we can just delete this white layer, and that's what we get, right? So now, go ahead and the reason why we're going to deselect this is you'll see in a second. Now, go over here is I'm going to go over here to select, and I'm going to go to color gamut. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select color gamut. So we're going to take the little dipper. So let's start with the skin tones first. All right, select color gamut. Now everything that's brown is selected. So now we're going to go back to our multiply layer, and if you have to, it's Control U, but I have it set up on my remote as a quick key. So I do that, and it brings up my hue, saturation, luminosity slider. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the hue side all the way a little over, right about there. desaturate colors a little bit darker, and then I can that'll lighten it up or darken it up. I want to lighten it up a little bit. It doesn't need to be that dark. And then we fidget with the hue just a little bit. And deselect. And then scroll in, and then you can see. Yeah, we see the colors. All right. And then rinse, wash, and repeat. So now we're going to go here, go back to select color gamut. And this time we're going to work on her clothes. Hit OK. Make sure we select the multiply layer. Hit our quick Q to the slider. This time I want to pull the hue the other direction. About there. And then we'll pull the saturation down. There we go. Bring it right about there. And then we're going to put the luminosity a little bit darker. Not too much. Just a little bit. And just like that. And let's go back to our flats. We're going to go to select color gamut. I'm going to select the pink. Let me scroll back a little bit because I think this will choose too. Okay. Put it on multiply layer. Quick. And then with the pink, kind of can go either direction. And we keep it kind of in this purplish area. Let's see if I saturate it down. Or if I saturate it, see if I saturate it up, it gets a little grayer. It's a little more bluey. Let's saturate it. Let's saturate it down right about there. Bring the luminosity down a little bit though. I don't think it needs to be that dark. And then deselect. Back here. Select color gamut. Make sure that's selected. And no, I think I got a little bit over here. Oh yeah. Okay, mostly there. We saturate down a little bit. We desaturate it. Yeah, if I saturate it, become more. And then actually, let's bring the luminosity up a little bit on that one. Darken it up. There we go. And I think the last thing we got to do is her shoes and her screen. Yeah, shoes and screens. So that color. Multiply, hit that, and then we want to bring that hue over. Right. There we go. To the blue. Right there. And we'll bring the luminosity down a little bit. Well, down a lot. Then like that. And then finally, we're going to select our screen. Oops. Cancel. It was on the wrong layer. I was gonna make sure you're on the right layer. So I'm gonna select the screen, and we're going to go back up here, hit that, and we're going to work on that shadow. And then I'm gonna drop the saturation down on that. And then also right about there. There we go. All right. So that's the first step in this one. We select. All right. Now on top of our multiply layer, I'm sorry, below our multiply layer, we're going to put another layer. And this one we are going to create a layer mask with. And that layer mask is for the hues. Right there. Oh no, come on, man. There we go. All right. And I'm going to switch over to my airbrush, right? Did I do that right? Delete. Just a second. Oh, that's why. All right. Oh no. Okay. So that should be. Okay, so we should be able to just mask this, create layer mask, and hold on just a second. So it should mask over that. Did I choose the right layer? Oh, there we go. Oh, for some reason it didn't apply to. That's cool. I wonder why it was doing that. It's just acting weird for some reason. So now we're gonna and now we're just applying the okay. Hmm. Very interesting. Hmm. That's not working today. Hmm. That's interesting. We have to see what that's all about. Okay. I think it works. It's doing its job now. So the reason why I was kind of vexed because you want to apply the mask to the layer so it doesn't go outside of the layer. I do realize it's a airbrush, so it's going to have some issues, some little overspray, but it shouldn't be much because I've got it set to hard. Anyway, pause. Um, and basically we're doing highlights and kind of those extra that lighting. This. And this helps obviously match up the colors a little bit better and blend the colors. I think it needs to happen. Yeah, right there. So we're gonna get rid of that. Yeah. Oops. Hairbrush. So, and that's a little much. A little spray right here, a little spray here, a little spray right there. Just want to keep that right there, a little dot. So, and this is basically kind of what I do now. I just kind of navigate where the little bits of lighting are needed or not needed on this layer, on the next several layers actually. I think I should have just stuck with the. Should have just stuck with the. Damn, that one. And of course, the great thing about this with it being its own layer, if I do make a mistake. something I don't like, I can correct it easily enough. Um, so so what we're working on is finishing up the hero piece, and all I'm trying to do now is really kind of get everything they need to be and matching up. So far, we have pretty successful goal with little shorty, getting her fully rendered out. Now let's do the same with my man Adam, Big Adam. Let me just drop this out for a second. Shorty, you can go too for a second. Oh, also everything's in their own individual folders, so that's the reason I can just click on the folders and make them disappear. So hold on just a second. Let's see. All right. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let me drop these out for a second. There is an open line somewhere. You gotta figure that out. So put this at 30. Alright. I think. Yeah, I think that was it. I think I got it closed up now. Alright, let's try it again. Yep, that was the one. That was the point. That was the break point. Alright, so back to the process. So fill, do a white fill. Then we'll put another one layer on top. Set this layer to multiply. There we go. Now I gotta bring back the background because so much of the lighting is going to be determined by the background. And let's find out. Rinse, wash, and repeat. Now I think the easier thing with Adam is that he has a lot of he's got a simpler. He has way less colors, as you say. We got to work with. So tell me, guys, do you guys have any projects that you're going to work on? Hit me in the chat. Let me know what you're working on. What's your plans for this new year? As I said before, we're going to be every day moving forward from 5 p.m. to 7. So let's some tutorials. I got a fire tutorial I'm gonna work on for next Wednesday. So I think that's really gonna work. I need some orange juice too. Let me get mine. So I'm gonna make sure, let's put that at 300. So I gotta cover up all that. Cover space. Do that, do that, do that, and there we go. All right. All right. Now we got a shallow work in. So that multiply. Let's go ahead and get rid of this layer right here. Ooh, boy. All right. Mood change in this one real quick. That's because I got so many cold colors, which is funny because Shorty is. She still got cold colors, but she's got that bright pink that breaks her out. All right. So first things first, let's deselect. Going to select color gamut, and we'll work on his skin tone first and foremost. All right, and let's go ahead and pull those sliders up. And guys, this is really all it is at this point. Just working on those sliders, figuring out what's the better look. See, I'm thinking I'm going to go more bluish because the skin has a green tone, bluish grayish. So I wanted to come across a little bit colder, but I'm gonna lighten it up a little because it's so dark. So the kid in question, this kid Adam, not the original. He's not the original creation, but he was a kid that was resurrected using the exact same technology because his father, who was grieving his loss, stumbled upon the good Dr. Frankenstein's notes, which everybody thought were lost to the annals of time, and he used that to sort of bring his lost son back. Unfortunately, he brought him back as kind of this, as you know, or monstrosity. And then he promptly went missing. So Adam doesn't know why he exists or that. So he's up with Shorty, who is journalist, who runs a local news website, and she's investigating, local mysteries. And these turn out to be sort of supernatural in nature. And so they team up and they're form a friendship, a partnership. And this will be the first adventure that we're going to see for the so desatch pants down a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and select color again. And we're going to cancel. Did I already do these? Yeah, it was already did the arms. Alright. Hold on. That don't seem right. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay. Yep. Arms are done. Alright. So alright, so now on it's weird. I have to apply master layer now. Weird, but okay. So now, airbrushing the highlight colors. Which automatically add them off the screen. English, I think, Lord. And then for the other side, yeah. Just have blue. Highlight with that blue. So I bring that out. And all I'm doing, guys, is I'm just referencing all the colors that we developed. And I took the banana. And this is just it's fun, man. It's fun. tell you is that this is really fun.
Uh-huh.
Um, so now let's bring back Shorty. And let's resend this. There we go. I'm feeling it. Good thing, guys. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you guys think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm okay. You gotta eat it, girl. Food is over here.
Okay. Yeah, so we 47. Oh man. Well, now we've come. Now we come to say goodbye to all my friends. All right, guys. So what we talked about today? So we talked about Mappa. We talked about creating a gym, and I think that's really going to help you guys, especially for those of you guys that want to do comics. Right, doing multiple tasks at once. And again, the character, you can design your character and use reference to image to make that work. Let me save this one before I do something stupid. And the only thing I got to do now is I probably have to create a logo in Illustrator for this, and create a logo in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, and then I can go ahead and get to work. I still got to do the redesign for Adam because again, um, that won't do. So that won't do, not at all. So we gotta redesign him. But I already have a really good design. It's rough. Um, what else we got on? Yeah. So Mappa making their decision. We'll see how that works out for them. Mappa's made their decision, and yeah. So we've got Shorty Ace and Adam designed and colored up and ready to go and looking good. Uh, I want to work with him real quick. Yes, add a little. Just need to add a little spray. Um, but
Yeah, 'cause, you know, 'cause I
this
was
is so it's been fun. Uh, can't. Oh. It's starting the trip. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and call it a night. And I'll holler at y'all later. Oh, make sure you like, subscribe, Patreon. If you want to hit me on the Cash App, or obviously if you go to the website and purchase some merch. Um, we're gonna call it a day. We're gonna call it a night. DKG72. I'm out. Peace.